welcome to another scintillating episode of Cooking with Coobs, Series 3 One Pot Wonders. And today I'm going to be preparing a one pot lasagna. I cheat a little with this one because I have to brown the mince in a frying pan, but bear with me. A sip of "Oh Be Joyful" to keep me going while I'm cooking. As Ron always says, my brother, he likes to cook with wine. Sometimes he even puts it in the food. Wow. Ron, I think this episode is for you. I should have some lovely background Italian music, but unfortunately that pleasure has been denied me by copywriters. So I'll make the best of what I have, and till we get cracking, a little sip to keep me going. Only improves with age. For this dish, it's not exactly a quick 5-minute fix. This lasagna takes a lot of ingredients. I've got flour, mozzarella cheese, a little bit of Parmesan cheese to grate over it, my squares of lasagna, a little cheddar, some mushrooms. I always like to put mushrooms in mine, a can of chopped and peeled tomatoes, a little bit of red wine vinegar, olive oil, a little bacon just to add to the flavour. And as for my herbs, I have a de-seeded chilli, a little rosemary, a few cloves of garlic, a little thyme, some fresh basil just picked, parsley. And now the parsley is a sensitive issue. Not everybody likes it. I've picked some so I can chop it up on my own portion afterwards. And then of course the main ingredient, the base of the dish, is lean mince. That's about ½ kilogram. Right, to start I'll be boiling 8 sheets of pasta of my lasagna with a little salt, about 2 teaspoons, boiling water, just to get it parboiled, a dash of olive oil to stop the pasta sticking together, teaspoon for this. Try and keep it separate. It doesn't have to cook for too long. I think that's done enough. Take it off the heat. Right, I've saved the pasta for later. And I'm now going to make my bechamel sauce. I use about 2 tablespoons of butter, coming on nicely, about a cup of flour, looks about right. And then I shall add 2 cups of full cream milk. Now I'm told one should do it rapidly, not slowly. And that I will allow to thicken and rub. I think that's just about perfect. Don't want to overdo it. And I'll save this for later so I can layer it over my lasagna. Right, time to chop my herbs. And garlic. I'm going to brown the mince with my chopped up onions. Just 1 onion to give it a bit of a natural flavour. Now 1 onion. Looks like I'm making hamburgers, eh? The pan should still be quite hot. I think that's hot enough. Put the mince in, together with the chopped onion to brown. Adding a drop of butter to my olive oil just for a bit of flavour. While I'm starting, I'll now add about a teaspoonful of salt, sea salt, 1 teaspoon, half a teaspoon of white pepper, a greatly underrated spice. Normally I would not use olive oil, but it was a gift to me, so I love using it. I use sunflower oil. Doesn't give quite the same flavour, but oh well, one uses what one has. And as my Auntie Grace always said, look after the pennies, the pounds will look after themselves. Okay, time to chop some herbs. I'm going to let a little of this chili brown with the onion. It gives it a nice flavour when it browns. So, put just a little bit of chili into the pan. Start browning a little. Just getting the seeds off the oregano, at least off the basil, fresh basil. Now I can chuck it into my mix. It's browning quite nicely. I'm going to give it, after it's stirred, I'm going to add 1 fresh sun-ripened tomato, apart from a can of tomatoes. Gives it a bit more of a natural flavour. can of tomato. And a little water with it. This process has taken too long. Add a drop of vinegar, a splash of wine. Right, I've added about 100 grams of sliced mushrooms, my tomato paste, a little bit of good old all gold tomato sauce, a dash of red wine, and it's bubbling beautifully. Time to grate in my cheese. First, a little good old crumbly cheddar. About 100 grams of mozzarella, coarsely grated. They say that one should really partly freeze the mozzarella so that it grates nicely, but I forgot. I'm not perfect. Turn the heat down a little. Let that cheese blend beautifully. And now a little of my secret ingredient I showed you last time. Ina Palman's Italian cheese spice. A lovely spice, can be a bit overpowering, but a little goes a long way, half a teaspoon. Right, I think we're ready. Right. This is about as good as it's going to get. Now I will start my layering process. Firstly, a layer of bechamel sauce. On the bottom of my dish. You might not have noticed, but I added about a teaspoon of Ina Palman's sea salt to my bechamel sauce. I do cheat a little when you're not watching. Now, a layer of this delicious mix. Thin layer. Just to set the base. Then a layer of lasagna par-cooked sheets. You see they're already sticking together a bit, just as well I put some oil in. Layer that down. Now this dish probably could do with 3 side by side. That should be about perfect. Now we repeat the process. A layer of mince. See, it's still quite moist, but as I cook, a lot of this moisture will get out, it will dry up and make it a lot more manageable and cut into slices. layer, a little bit more bechamel sauce, I would say. I hope you can see what I'm doing there. I'll tilt the dish slightly. There we go. Another layer of pasta. Well, I could actually put a little more grated cheese. I think I'll put a little more grated mozzarella on this layer. So we've got a nice, rich, cheesy dish. This mozzarella is not grating very well. Should have partially frozen it, then it would work properly. Okay, enough to keep me going. Another layer of lasagna, crosswise this time. As a civil engineer, I know to give it strength, you've got to cross-laminate it. Gosh, they're sticking together a lot better. There we go. This one down the center, Mrs. Venter. More of this delicious mix. More bechamel sauce. Just grate a bit of fine parmesan on top of it, gives it a lovely flavour. I'll be baking this for about 40 minutes with the lid on, and I will take it off for the last 10 minutes to brown everything nicely. At 244 Rand per kilo for Parmesan, I'm afraid I'm quite snoop when I put Parmesan cheese on it. I've saved one little rasher of bacon to spread over the top. If you don't like bacon for whatever reason, this can be left out. Just a fine sprinkling of bacon pieces. That should do it. I've been told I mustn't wipe my hands on my backside, so I've got a cloth handy today, which will go straight into the wash when I'm finished. I've already preheated the oven to 190, and I'm going to put this on the middle shelf. I will cover it to start. There we go. Middle of the oven, in the middle shelf. 40 minutes is up, and I think it's time to remove. First we'll turn off the oven. and then remove this delicious lasagna. Whoa, and look at that. Brown to perfection. Wow. Wow, that looks pretty good to me. Well, before I tuck into this feast, I will bid you farewell. So, arrivederci until we meet again. Wish I had some lovely Italian music to see this show off, but I don't.